welcome back to Kinga's World. First of all, let me start by saying thank you to all the lovely people who watched my video last night. The one where I said why I've been quiet for the last couple of weeks and what's been going on in Kinga's World. All the comments I get from my internet friends, like I'm not gonna call you guys my subscribers, my followers. Someone even used the word fans in the comments yesterday. Please guys, do not call yourself that. You are my internet friends. So I just want to say a massive thank you for all these lovely comments. I'm definitely feeling so much better today, much more positive. It's like I got this kick of energy, and I feel like I can do it now. No matter what life, climate, infertility and the rectifier throws at me, I'll be fine. Today's video is going to be a bit of a, not really a story time. I don't know how to call these videos when I sit there and I'm just talk to you about myself. I think if I make this kind of videos, you guys are gonna get to know me better, and you will understand why Kinga's World is the way it is. So, as you've seen in my video yesterday, I'm struggling mainly at the moment because of my weight. It's driving me crazy and all that, and I know that you can see that the main reason why this weight is really stressing me is the fact that if I gain any more weight, I'm definitely not going to be able to go through sort of IVF route if Clomid doesn't work. But that's not what I'm going to talk about now, because you heard all about yesterday if you watched my video. Today I want to tell you why weight is difficult subject for me, and why gaining weight is scary for me. I love when my neighbors it's like the minute I get home they just start making noise. Anyways, I've mentioned it in a few of my videos in the past, but I never really sat and talked about it. You would never guess, looking at me right now, that I used to suffer with eating disorder. Because I'm big, and in last month I got very big. But I was never fat as a child. I was normal. My boobs appeared very early, so I was always looking older, and my body was have this womanly look from a quite young age. I was never a fat kid, and I was always very active. I was on my roller skates and I was out all the time, because I'm obviously from the generation when we went outside and we ran around and do silly things. We didn't sit on our bums in front of computers, so I wasn't a fat kid. And around the age of 16, my problems with food, weight and my body image started. My parents were working abroad for quite a few years. My dad started when I was, I think, 12, 13. Then my mom started going away with him, and when I was 16, both of my parents, they were going to work in Holland, Germany. Then my dad went to Denmark as well, and they would go away for a period of 2 months time, sometimes 3 months time, come home for a month or two and then go away. Sometimes they'll be at home for a few months and then go away for a few months. And my sister is 4 years older, so when I was 16 she was 20. She was already at uni in a different city. So at 16 my parents made the decision that they will take this job, because they used to go for a little bit and then come back, or one of them will be at home and the other one was away working. But 16, they had this conversation with me, and I said absolutely fine, I'm happy, I can look after myself, you can trust me. So they decided to give it a go and go away and see if I can cope with, I think my mother's main worry was that I would get pregnant, burn the flat down, have the police in every other day, start doing drugs and all that. None of this happened. And I'm 100% sure that they didn't believe that I'm going to behave as well as I was behaving. But so when my parents started working away, I was looking after myself. The regional arrangement was that I was supposed to go and have like my dinners or so, lunch on a weekend at my grandmother's house, but me and her, we hated each other, and I would much rather go like once every couple of weeks to my other grandmother for a couple of days, and or my sister will come home every other weekend and then spend some time with her. But I've decided I'm gonna look after myself. I'm gonna cook my own meals, and I don't need my old psycho grandmother to look after me. So, plus her food was disgusting. So around that time, I think that's when my polycystic ovarian syndrome and my underactive thyroid really started, because that was the time when I started my cycles and were irregular, and then my weight started going like really up and then really down, and I was like, I would lose or gain the same 10 or 20 pounds in a matter of month, literally 1 month. And after, I think the first or second time when my parents went away and then I came home for a couple of months, my mum made a comment that meant nothing really, and she did not say it in a malicious, mean way. I know this now, but when you're 16 and crazy and lots of things are happening in your body, you take comments to your heart. So my mum just made a comment that said, you look like you put on quite a lot of weight. And it triggered something in me. So I've decided that next time when my parents go away, I'm gonna go on a diet. Because my mum made that comment. She didn't say it just obviously to make me feel bad. She made that comment, and then she was at home for a month or so, and she was cooking all these homemade lovely meals and stuff, and I was eating them, but I wasn't really gaining any more weight, but I was a few pounds heavier than I was like a few months before that. So my parents went away and I started my mission. So I would exercise a lot at home. I would eat lettuce and natural yogurts. That was my menu for like days at the time. I'll have a bit of natural yogurt in the morning. I'll go to school, then I wouldn't get home till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I have some lettuce with like a bit of olive oil or something, and then I'll have a bit more yogurt in the evening. And I've lost all this weight really fast, and then I've lost some more. I became obsessed because I was looking in the mirror and I was still seeing this very, very fat person. And I know now that that wasn't who I was looking at. Like what I was seeing in the mirror, that wasn't the real image of me. That wasn't me. That was just what my brain was telling me, or my eating disorder was telling me. So it continued for quite a few months. My parents never noticed, because at that time I was into like roller skating, skateboarding and all that stuff, and like hip hop music. So I was wearing the baggy jeans, big t-shirts, big shirts, so you wouldn't see my body shape. So I've lost quite a lot of weight, but nobody really noticed because of my clothes. Like you could see it from my face a little bit, but so my mum came and she was like, oh, you lost some weight. And once again, it was like a compliment, but in my head it was like, oh, I lost a little bit of weight, like by now I should lose all this extra weight, which I did, but I didn't see it. It continued for about 2, maybe 3 years, on and off. Like when my parents were at home, my mom would cook all these lovely meals and I could not avoid having meals. So I'll do silly things, like I'll tell my mom, oh my god, I woke up too late for school, I don't have time to eat breakfast, just pack me something to take with me to school. And I was going to school like an hour away. I was on the bus for an hour each way. I was like, I'll eat on the bus. And so my mom would make me something for breakfast, and then she would give me some like snack or some lunch money to have at school. But I wouldn't eat that. The breakfast would end up in the bin. Whatever she gave me for lunch, it will end up in the bin. And then I would go home in the evening, and then I would eat whatever she cooked for dinner. And I'll try to make myself sick, which was not always possible, because obviously my parents were at home and I didn't want them to hear me being sick. So I would say like, oh, I'm going to see my friends for a couple of hours, and I would just literally walk somewhere where I could make myself sick without anyone noticing. I'd use weird things. Like, I'll come home and I'll drink, like, I said, oh, I'm so thirsty, you know what, I really love milk. So I was drinking like lots of milk, and for some reason it was like, and then I wasn't hungry, so I'd say, oh, let me just give me a small dinner because I had all this milk, and then I was just making myself sick, and it was a bit crazy. And then the minute my parents were gone, they would go away to work, I would make myself I would starve myself again, and it will all continue for quite a long time. It destroyed my relationship with my mother for years. Me and my mom didn't have relationship really till I turned 21, and my grandmother, not the psycho one, the nice one, passed away. But I hated my mom for making that comment. I blamed her for me developing eating disorder. So no, it wasn't her fault. It was somewhere in my brain, obviously. My mom just say something that triggered it. And for years I treated her like absolute shit. I would tell her that I hate her. Even after I moved here to UK, I'll be calling home, and I was talking to my dad, and be like, oh, your mom wants to talk to you. And I was like, I don't want to talk to her. And I will do everything to start arguing with her. I was horrible. I blamed her for this. But I never told her. Then I started going home. Obviously, after I moved here, it was much easier to sort of control my eating disorder myself, because there's no one here really to control me or see what I eat. So I was doing more binging and then making myself sick than starving myself. It's a hard subject. So I was doing more of that. So I would eat loads of disgusting things. I was going out a lot, drinking a lot, and then I would just make myself really sick. And then if like housemates or someone would ask like, oh, why have you been sick? I was like, oh, because I was so drunk last night and I had all this alcohol and I'm being sick, when I was actually making myself sick. I've noticed that normally my like relapsing happens when I go through hard time. It was if I had a bad breakup, if things were bad at work or at uni when I was still in Poland. That's when one thing obviously you can control when everything else is falling apart is your eating. So I was using that as the way of controlling all the situations that I couldn't control. As I said, my family didn't know till I turned 21, or after almost, I think 22 actually. My mum always had this photo of me in my old bedroom, and that was me at my smallest. I would try to find a picture of from when I was really struggling, when I was having about 18, and I was never like this slim, because it's not my body frame. I don't think like my body would ever go down to this size, but that was the smallest I've ever been. You could see like my collarbones really sticking out. My hands were just like so long and slim, and my waist was really small. So my mom had a picture from like that period of time, and she always had it, and I was like, can you just change this picture? Can you get rid of it? And she always said to me like, but I love this picture. And then I thought that she loves this picture because I was at my smallest, I was really slim, so that's why she likes this picture. So it was like triggering again for me to like say, oh, so my own mother hates the fact that I'm like gaining weight now or I'm being bigger, so I need to like go back to starving myself or making myself sick and all that. So when I went to Poland at the age of 22, after my grandmother died, and obviously everyone was like, it was all emotional and all that. And I remember being in my bedroom and looking at this picture, and my mum was like, what is your problem with this picture? And I did something like really like crazy. I just took this picture, it was like in a glass frame, I threw it on the wall and it all just fell into pieces, and she was like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I just screamed in her face, and I was like, this is when I was sick, this was when my eating disorder was the worst, this is when I needed someone to notice what was going on with me. Everyone was complimenting how good I look, but nobody was noticing that I'm looking this way because I'm really making myself sick or starve myself. My mom, like me, my mom and my sister were in the room when that happened, and we all cried. My mom hugged me and we cried for ages. Whew. And my sister hugged me and she said, why didn't you tell me? And I was just like, I don't know. She was like, when you came to visit me for the weekend and all that, you were eating. And I was like, well, I was, because I didn't want you to know. So all that happened. Oh my god, and I'm talking for 16 minutes already, and I'm halfway through my story. So since then, like, my relationship with my mom became better. My relationship with food, funnily enough, became better. Since they only had like one episode when for about 3 or 4 months I was really controlling what I was eating, but it was after like breakup, and I was in a relationship with someone. It was the last guy I dated before my husband, and he was a nasty, mentally abusive person who would tell me that I'm disgusting, I'm fat, I'm ugly. And around the same time I've gained shitloads of weight, obviously just before that time. That's, I think, was when my once again underactive thyroid and polycystic ovaries got really bad. I've gained, I don't know, I think about 4 or 5 stone in a matter of a year or something. And no matter how much I exercise, how much I, try to diet and control what I was eating, I was not losing any weight, and I was gaining. And then having that guy who was saying all those things, nasty things to me, made it even worse. So it was a crazy circle. But luckily that was about 6 years ago, and since then I've been okay-ish. But where I'm going with this super long story is when I talk to you about being worried about gaining weight and all that, yes, the main reason is why I'm worried is that my infertility problem, is that I want to make sure that I lose all the weight that I should to make my body as healthy and as strong as possible while I'm trying to conceive. I've started my weight loss 2 years ago when I was put on medication for underactive thyroid, and that was the time when I finally started to be able to lose weight after years of starving myself, making myself sick, and actually gaining weight, not losing weight. So that sort of, I know that I should have some like light bulb moment when I starved myself for 2 months and I've actually gained 7 pounds, that something was not right with my body, because I was using my usual tricks and nothing was working. But hey, I was silly. So 2 years ago I made this conscious decision that I'm gonna like look after myself. I'm on medication now, which will help me lose weight, or not really help me lose weight. If I follow a healthy diet and healthy exercise routine, I will be able to lose weight. I will never be able to lose weight as fast as a healthy person. It takes my body ages to get rid of extra pounds. I can gain 10 pounds, as you can see, in a month, but it takes me a year or 6 months to lose 10 pounds normally. So 2 years ago I made the decision, and I was really tempted, because I was like, oh my god, I'm put on this medication now, and I was on metformin as well, which helps some people lose weight. I was put on it for PCOS, not because I have diabetes, because I don't. So I was like, I was really tempted. This voice in my head that's been quiet for years started telling me like, oh my god, so now you'll be able to lose weight, like not just like by exercising and having a healthy diet. Start cutting meals, start cutting portions, start skipping dinners and all that, start making yourself sick. And it took a lot in me, and it took being with a man who loves me for who I am to not to listen to this voice. in my head. And so far I've been able to, it's been 2 years, and I've been able to ignore this voice telling me to, you know, if you want to lose more weight, starve yourself and skip meals and all that. But every time I have a gain, like, no, I'm not talking about 3-4 pounds because you know, you were eating like a pig for a week or you went on holiday, but if I have a gain that is quite significant, and for me anything over half a stone is a significant weight gain, my body start thinking about the ways how I can lose these pounds, how I can like starve myself, or how I can make myself sick. And I try my best not to let this happen, but it is in my mind. It's always, this voice always comes back. It's just a matter of me making decision if I'm going to listen to this voice or ignore it. So as you all know, when I'm good, and I follow keto diet, and that's the diet when I actually lose weight and feel better. But for the past month or so, even when I was following my diet and exercising and doing everything I should be doing, I've been gaining weight. So I got really discouraged. So yeah, I had a bad few days in last 6 weeks. I'm not saying I was 100% angel, but I had a few bad days. But normally, if I had this amount of, or twice as many bad days as I had, I would have gained maybe 3 or 4 pounds. So I'm at this point right now when this silly voice in my head, and that's why I've been quiet, and that's why I haven't been making videos, because I've been laying in bed most of the time just saying to this voice in my head, like, no, I'm not going to starve myself, no, I'm not going to make myself sick, I'm not going to let you take over and force me to lose weight. And I know it's going to be hard now, and I know I'm going to struggle to lose this additional weight that I've just gained, but I'm going to do it a healthy way, and I'm going to exercise as much as I can. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm doing something at the moment, and I don't want to say what I'm doing. I'm typical YouTuber right now. Like, I don't want to say what I'm doing because I know I'm not going to stick to the target that I gave myself. I am overachiever, but I'm also the crazy person with like a myself target. So if I said, if I do something for 5 days, even though I know I can only do it for 3 days, by day 2 my body will tell me like, give up, and I give in and have something really that I shouldn't eat or drink yet. But I'm making a video about it, so in a few days time you'll either see me recording a video, or you will see video of me telling you that I did something, I've achieved something, and these are results, or you will see me saying I failed again. But wish me luck and keep your fingers crossed for me. So yeah, this is my little story time / why I'm with the way I am, and why gaining weight is very scary for me. Gaining weight is scary to any woman, really. We all been always told that we should be tall, slim, with big boobs and big bum, which is like physically almost impossible. But that's the reason why. Not, as I say, my main reason why I'm worried about gaining weight is because of my fertility problems. And my second reason why I'm like worried about gaining weight is because I'm worried that all these extra pounds will trigger this voice in my head that I won't be able to control. I think I'm strong enough to control it, but it's there, and it's just this nagging voice in my head for the last few weeks. Every time I look in the mirror, it's there and tells me how bad I look. So yeah, I'm not making this video to make you guys feel sorry for me. I am, after your yesterday's comments, I am so positive and full of hope and grateful for all your love. So I'm not making this video for you to make you feel sorry for. I'm making this video to tell you a bit more about myself and why I am the way I am. And maybe some of you can relate to this story and experience the similar thing. If you did, and you managed to beat that voice in your head, comment and let me know how you did it. If you're in recovery from eating disorder, tell me how long it's been, and if you are in recovery, I'm proud of you, because it's one of the hardest things you could do, to give your body the thing that it needs to stay alive, and ignore the voice in your head telling you that eating is killing you. So yeah, I'm sorry that my videos lately are not funny and positive, but I feel like I'm on the right track now. I feel like yesterday was this day when I cried a lot, was really depressed, really upset, and today is all about I can do it. So thanks for watching as usual. I love you guys, and thanks for your likes, subscriptions, and lovely comments. Thanks, and I see you hopefully in a couple of days.